I think Drew wants another baby. I'm not sure, but I think she wants another child. The signs are so subtle, they barely seem to add up. But she says things like, remember before Elise went to school? And there sure are a lot of women in their mid-30s having babies. I should ask her, but for some reason I don't. We talk about everything. Everything. But I've avoided this topic. I've avoided talking to Drew about this topic because I want another child too badly to have her not want one. I want a little boy to come into the yard on Christmas morning and say, see, they're in the roof. The reindeers were there. I want another kid to throw manure for. I'll wait. It'll come up one of these days. I'll find a way to bring it up. Christmas is coming. Every year on the day after Halloween, I tip the sled out of the rafters in the garage, and Elise and I sponge it off, clean the beautiful dark blonde wood with furniture polish, enamel the nicked spots on the runner supports with black engine paint, and rub the runners themselves with waxed paper. It is a ritual done on the same plaid blanket in the garage, and it takes all afternoon. When we are finished, we lean the sled against the wall, and Elise marches into the house. Okay now, she says to her mother, let it snow. On the first Friday night in December every year, Elise and Drew and I go by our tree. This too is ritual. Like those families that bundle up and head for the wilderness so they can trudge through the deep, pristine snow, chop down their own little tree, and drag it step by step all the way home, we venture forth in the same spirit. Only we take the old pickup down to South State and find some joker who's thrown up 2 strings of colored lights or on the corner of the parking lot of a burned-out Safeway and is proffering trees to the general public. There's something magical and sad about this little forest just sprung up across from City Tacos. And Drew and Elise and I wander the wooded paths, waiting for some lopsided piñon to leap into our hearts. The winter Drew and I became serious when I was a senior and she was already in her first year at law school. I sold Christmas trees during vacation. I answered a card on a dorm bulletin board and went to work for a guy named Gear, who had cut 2,000 squat piñon from the hills east of Cedar City and was selling them from a dirt lot in Redwood Road. Drew's mother invited me to stay with them for the holidays, and it gave me the chance to help Drew make up her mind about me. I would sell trees until midnight with Gear, and then drive back to Drew's and watch every old movie in the world and wrestle with Drew until our faces were mashed blue. I wanted to complicate things wonderfully by having her sleep with me. She wanted to keep the couch cushions between us and think it over. It was a crazy Christmas. We'd steam up the windows in the entire living room, but she never gave in. We did develop the joke about condition, which we still use as a code word for desire. And later, I won't say if it was spring or fall, when Drew said to me, I'd like to see you about this condition, I knew everything was going to be all right, and that we'd spend every Christmas together for the rest of our lives. One night during that period, I delivered a tree to University Village, the married students' housing off Sunnyside. The woman was waiting for me with the door open as I dragged the pine up the steps to the second floor. She was a girl, really, about 20, and her son, about 3, watched the arrival from behind her. When I had the tree squeezed into the apartment, she asked if I could just hold it for a minute while she found her tree stand. If you ever need to stall for a couple of hours, just say you're looking for your tree stand. I mean, the girl was gone for about 20 minutes. I stood and exchanged stares with the kid, who was scared. He didn't understand why some strange man had brought a tree into his house. Christmas, I told him. Christmas. Can you say Merry Christmas? I was an idiot. When the girl returned with her tree stand, she didn't seem in any hurry to set it up. She came over to me and showed me the tree stand, holding it up for an explanation as to how it worked. Close up, the girl's large eyes had an odd look in them. And then I understood it when she leaned through the boughs and kissed me. It was a great move. I had to hand it to her. There I was, holding the tree. I couldn't make a move either way. It has never been among my policies to kiss strangers, but I held the kiss and the tree. Something about her eyes. She stepped back with the sweetest look of embarrassment and hope on her pretty face that I'd ever seen. Just loosen the turn screws in the side of that stand, I said finally, and we can put this tree up. By the time I had the tree secured, she had returned again with a box of ornaments, lights, junk like that. And I headed for the door. Thanks, I said. Merry Christmas. Her son had caught on by now and was fully involved in unloading the ornaments. The girl looked up at me, and this time I saw it all. Her husband coming home in his cap and gown last June saying, thanks for law school, honey, but I met Doris at the jurisprudence ball, and I gotta be me. Keep the kid. The girl said to me, you could stay and help. It seemed like two statements to me, so I answered them separately. Thank you, but I can't stay. That's the best help. Have a good Christmas. And I left them there together, decorating that tree. A ritual against the cold. How do you like it? Elise says to me. She's selected a short, broad bush which seems to have grown in two directions at once and then given up. She sees the look on my face and says, if you can't see anything nice, don't see anything at all. Besides, I've already decided this is the tree for us. It's a beautiful tree, Drew says. Quasimodo. I whisper to Drew, this tree's name is Quasimodo. No whispering, Elise says from behind us. What's he saying now, Mom? He said he likes the tree too, honey. Elise is not convinced, and after a pause she says, Dad, it's Christmas. Behave yourself.